So God. There's a lot of contrast in Psalms between being against God dealing with those who are angry at us or our enemies, and us being in position. So I'll start reading. Let's see here. Give me a second, I'm having some technical difficulties.
At first I thought that was a Hebrew transcript or something.
Alright. So, Psalms 1, and it reads, "Blessed is the person who obeys the law of the Lord. They don't follow the advice of evil people. They don't make a habit of doing what sinners do. They don't join those who make fun of the Lord and His law. Instead, the law of the Lord gives them joy. They think about His law day and night. That kind of person is like a tree that is planted near a stream of water. It always bears its fruit at the right time. Its leaves don't dry up. Everything godly people do turns out well. Sinful people are not like that at all. They are like straw that the wind blows away. When the Lord judges them, their life will come to an end. Sinners won't have any place among those who are godly. The Lord watches over the lives of godly people, but the lives of sinful people will lead to their death." Thoughts, questions, comments?
Pretty straightforward.
One thing that I noticed just now is that even after finishing Job, if you were to read the book straight through, because Job was the last chapter of Job it's just before this book in the way that we have the Bible ordered, it kind of like is a continuation of the contrast that the friends were making, that Job was trying to make as far as why he shouldn't be in his predicament. And then Psalms comes right up behind it and says that it's almost like regardless of what you just saw in Job, regardless of what you just read, regardless of what you just comprehended in Job and how Job was feeling, let me just solidify and clarify for you how God feels about those who are right and how God feels about those who are wrong. Instead of looking at these people's input and these people's feelings about things and what Job did do or didn't do and all these other hearsay things, the word is like starting back up. Like, let me just clarify so you all understand, so we understand how God really feels at the end of the day about those who are right standing and those who are not. Any questions? going to stop at Psalm 2. Why do the nations plan evil together? Why do they make useless plans? The kings of the earth rise up against the Lord. The rulers of the earth join together against his anointed king. Let us break free from their chains, they say. Let us throw off their ropes. The God who sits on his throne in heaven laughs. The Lord makes fun of those rulers and their plans. When he is angry, he warns them. When his anger blazes out, he terrifies them. He says to them, I have placed my king on my holy mountain of Zion. I will announce what the Lord has promised. He said to me, you are my son. Today I have become your father. Ask me, and I will give the nations to you. All nations on earth will belong to you. You will break them with an iron scepter. You will smash them to pieces like clay pots. Kings, be wise. Rulers of the earth, be warned. Serve the Lord and have respect for him. Celebrate his rule with trembling. Obey the Son completely, or he will be angry. Your way of life will lead to your death. His anger can blaze out at any moment. Blessed are all those who go to him for safety. Any thoughts? One thing that jumped out to me is within the last couple of weeks, some of the governors and some of the leaders have been kind of boastful about how we have lowered the numbers, how we have started to fight back the virus, how we have used what we could do. And even one of them said it has nothing to do with God. It was blatant and bold. It has nothing to do with faith. Then yesterday, me and Charlene saw a commercial that was like boldly proclaiming, like, with these people holding up these signs, something science wins. I can't remember if it was just science wins or because I feel like it was like 3 words or 4 words or 5 words, but I remember seeing science wins. I'm like, who is this person with a commercial? It's not a short commercial either. It's not like a 2-second commercial, 3-second commercial. It's like, let's just get this quick TV spot and get out because we don't have that much to pay. It's like a good 30-second commercial. It felt like 25-second commercial, which is long for commercials. About science wins. We did it. Science wins. I'm just like, the verse says history repeats itself. Like nothing new was under the sun. And there was a group of people who did the same thing. And so many groups of people in the Bible who got to a place and where they're at in life and what they're fighting against or what they're doing, and then proclaim their own strength and their own ability as the reason why they're delivered. Even when dealing with Israel, God directly chastised them for saying, we have used our own strength to defeat our enemies. We are big and pretty much we are the big and bad ones. We did it. Yes, we did it. Almost like saying, God, we don't need you. Ha ha. And without any falter or failure to this percentage, 100% of the time, God stepped up and like, oh yeah, so you did it yourself, huh? Okay. And like they get corrected, wrath, judged, whatever it may be. Something comes along, it's like, yeah, this is because you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it yourself. You could do it yourself. You think you can do it, you can handle it yourself. And I was like, when I heard one of those leaders say what was said, I was like, I pray for the people in that area, because it's like when a leader on a public stage kind of like belittles the ability for God to move, the power for God to move, or anything like that, it's always come to a place where it's like opening up like a floodgate of whatever could happen to that location. And I'm sure not everybody voted for that leader, but the majority did. That's why that person's the leader. And the boastfulness as far as excluding God from the equation for the victory, It's not. It's not. It's not wise as a leader to
Not
do.
giving him the glory.
Right. It'd be better not to say anything at all than to say God couldn't do it or God didn't do it or this has nothing to do with
Well,
God.
I did this.
Right. So, that's what comes to mind for this psalm. I don't know why it cut off. But that's what comes to mind for this psalm. That's Psalm 2. Let's see if I can bring it back up. It's a dangerous place to be.